Hi everybody, Dan Illman here, taking a look at the Grade 3 Prairie Meadows Cornhusker Handicap on Iowa Derby Friday at Prairie Meadows. You can bet the Cornhusker with your very own DRFBets account. Sign up, access $100 in free cash. Learn more at drf.com/bet. Let's take a look at this field of older horses getting set to go a mile and an eighth for $300,000. The number 3 Dr. Door is your morning line favorite. He is expected to scratch out of the Cornhusker and makes it a little bit more of a wide open race. McCracken will likely be the favorite at post time with Dr. Door's defection. Let's talk a little bit about McCracken, a multiple graded stakes winner and a horse making his third start as a 4-year-old off two pretty good performances, a win at Churchill Downs going a 1-turn mile and a better than it looked performance last time out in the Grade 1 Metropolitan Handicap. In that race, Brian Hernandez Jr. tried to work out an inside-out trip. He was in behind horses turning into the stretch, and for most of the lane, Hernandez was trying to knife his way in between horses through a very tight spot. Now, McCracken would not have beaten that very tough field with a perfect trip, but I think he would have been closer if he was allowed to get clear earlier. It was a good, solid effort, and on McCracken's best day, he can beat a field like this. It'll be interesting to see how low he is on the tote board, however. Bob Baffert used to train the number 1 Irish Freedom, really couldn't get him over the hump. Graded stakes placed last year at Del Mar. He'll be his third start for trainer Brad Cox now, off of a winning performance at Churchill Downs, going this mile and an eighth distance, and that could be key. A mile and an eighth is difficult for these horses when they haven't won it in the past. Irish Freedom has handled it nicely. The issue I have with his most recent race, A, it wasn't very fast, an 89 Beyer speed figure which pales in comparison to the usual McCracken effort, and B, the race has come back weak. 4 next out runners, none of them have hit the board. The best Beyer speed figure, only an 83. Irish Freedom has a good amount of tactical speed, but it's likely that it'll be rallying from the back of the pack. The horse that Irish Freedom beat, the number 9 Crew Chief, was making his first start off the Michael Maker claim in that race, and he set the pace before tiring. It was his first start in about a month and a half, and Maker, a very shrewd trainer, is going to add blinkers. Crew Chief, I think, in this spot is going to try to sit from off of the pace. They tried to go to the front last time out. It really didn't work. Maybe the blinkers will allow him to focus, but this is a pretty stern class test for a horse that was claimed for $40,000 2 starts back. Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race, and again, this pace projector will be updated after scratches, so we would expect the 3 Dr. Door to be taken out. That would leave the number 6 Dalmore on what could be a very easy and uncontested pace, and I think that's going to be the plan for jockey Kent DeZormo. We haven't seen Dalmore since March the 17th when he pressed another fast horse, Hedge Fund, all the way into the stretch of the Essex Handicap at Oaklawn Park, and he paid the price in the lane. This is a horse that is capable of running a 96 Beyer speed figure on the lead. He did so 2 starts back in a salty optional claimer at Santa Anita. 6-1 on the line. Expect him to go down a little bit with the expected scratch of Dr. Door, but if he's able to get an easy lead, you might want to consider Dalmore on the win end. Plus, he has a positive formulator fact in his corner. Over the past 4 years, with older dirt routers making their return off a 2 to 4 month layoff, this barn is winning a third of the time with a big ROI of over $8. Dalmore, a curious pace play, to say the least. The number 2 is Matru, and Matru, what a claim this has been. Taken for only $25,000 4 starts back. Since then, he's raced 3 times, 2 wins, including a score in the Grade 3 Hanshin Cup, going a 1-turn mile at Arlington over their Polytrack, and then a good third in the Grade 1 Stephen Foster Handicap at a 1,000,000-to-1 odds. Now, he did get a very fast and contested pace to attack in the Stephen Foster. Still, he is in career form. This 8-year-old is finally running to his pedigree. He's a half to rule, a graded stakes winner. His dam a half to funny side. We all know what that horse could do on the track. Matru, though, needs some pace, and as we saw from the pace projector, we're not expecting an electric pace up front. We'll see what we can get from Matru. A mile and an eighth should not be an issue for him, but he may need a good amount of pace signed on. Thirst for Life I've always been a fan of. This is the number 5, and there was always buzz about him as a 2-year-old. He was a bit of an underachiever, and Wesley Hawley took him $50,000 back in October, and he's done a really great job with this son of Stay Thirsty. He's only tried him in graded stakes company once before. I thought that was a good, solid second-place finish behind Loose on the Lead, the Player, and the Mineshaft Handicap. Since then, he's won 2 of 3 starts, last time out overcoming a very slow pace to run down the 2 favorites who were in front of him at a key juncture. Thirst for Life is slowly creeping up on the Beyer scale. 91, 94, 97, and he also has a good amount of tactical speed. I don't think Robbie Alvarado is going to let Dalmore, the number 6, get too far ahead, and he could get the jump on a horse like McCracken, turning into the stretch. The number 8 is Hentz, who's returning to the scene of his 2017 score in the Grade 3 Iowa Derby for trainer Steve Asmussen. And we have a formulator fact for Hentz to show you. Over the past 3 years, with older dirt routers making their return off a 2 to 4 month layoff in graded stakes, Asmussen's winning at a 41% clip with over a $3.50 return on investment. It's nice to know that this horse can run over this surface, and he is a prior winner at 1 1/8. I just wonder where he is from a form standpoint. He hasn't reached the 90 Beyer plateau since that Iowa Derby try, perhaps overmatched last time out in the Grade 2 Ali Sheba Stakes. We saw Opportunity, the 4th place finisher, come back to win the Brooklyn with a 98 Beyer speed figure. But his race before that, in against Shotgun Cowboy and subsequent graded stakes winner Rated R Superstar, he just kind of finished evenly. This is a horse that's going to have to improve just a little bit to get the job done in this spot. It's a really intriguing race. We'll take a look at the number 7, Remembering Rita. And what's intriguing about Remembering Rita is this. He has won his last 2 races at Prairie Meadows by a combined 22 1/4 lengths. He really loves the cookin' at Prairie Meadows. The problem is he's had chances at Keeneland and Oaklawn, at Churchill in the past, and he just really could never get over the hump. I wonder if it's just been the lesser competition that he's been facing in his last 2 races. He's earned solid Beyer speed figures, but this is a gigantic step up in class. We're going to take a look at my top selection for the Grade 3 Cornhusker Handicap. I just think McCracken's the best horse, and I think he's still slowly improving as he makes his 3rd start as a 4-year-old. I also want to keep an eye on the number 5, Thirst for Life, as a potential value play in any sort of multiple race wagers. I like how he's been handled by Wesley Hawley, and I think he's ready to step back up into graded stakes competition. The 1 1/8 is a little bit of an unknown for him as well. I'm going 4, 5, 2, and 6 in the Grade 3 Cornhusker Handicap Friday evening at Prairie Meadows. It's a really nice card. You also have the Iowa Derby, an interesting pick 4 with a relatively low takeout. And you can bet it all with DRF Bets. Sign up for a DRF Bets account. $100 free cash is yours. Learn more at drf.com/bet. Approximate post time for the Grade 3 Cornhusker Handicap, 9:30 Central on Friday. Best of luck.